So there I was, chewing the fat with a friend a bit ago, where we were just shooting the shit, talking about our gay little Counter-Strike fantasies over skins we will more than likely never own, and then we had an idea to look into, and this idea was amalgamated into this video. Can Counter-Strike skins be hunted into extinction? Now by hunted into extinction, I simply don't mean those spurgs who just delete skins in order to prove a point or to get some reaction out of others over the stupid decisions they make, like when someone deletes a golden pan. No. I mean, can people harvest and destroy a collection for the simple reason of pure greed? Can we harvest so many skins from one collection in order to try and harvest the gems out of said collection that the rest of the set is damaged? By harvest, I of course mean destroying the skins and trade-up offers. People don't seem to understand how damaging a trade-up can be, especially if that collection isn't well known or it no longer drops, or if it was never even big to begin with. 10 skins are required in order for a trade-up to happen, and odds are, people are doing hundreds or even thousands of trade-ups a day. If a bunch of people do the most desired skins from 3 or 4 collections, then that collection's integrity is going to suffer. I'm going to be using this one website called float.db. This site tells us how many of a certain skin exists. You can set the parameters to include a range of floats, patterns, and do all sorts of other neat shit to see what kind of skins are out there. Now, for us to get the best information, I won't be picking one specific skin and leaving all wares of that skin that it can have. Most people are only going to be using factory new or minimum wear skins in order to upgrade their skin to the next tier, and so it won't look like absolute ass. They'll also use quote-unquote shitty guns more often because people on average won't be buying M249 saws and bisons as much as P250s, P90s, FAMASs, and Galils. Now, what high-tier skins are extremely desirable? Particularly from either uncommon collections, collections that are behind a paywall, and collections that just suck in general with the exception of one pearl in the mud. So, let's start looking on float.db. Starting with a semi-forgotten collection, the Office collection is a good place to start. This collection no longer drops and is really small. Most of this collection isn't known or used except for maybe the P2000 Silver. However, the most desired skin out of this bunch is the Whiteout MP7. A pure solid color with white is bound to get the attention of everyone, and at a price tag for a factory new one going for about $350, that is definite proof. Now, there are 3 skins below in tier to the MP7, and that would be the Winterforce Galil, the M249 Blizzard Marbleized, and the G3 SG1 Arctic Camo. These are industrial grade, and you can already see that these skins are being rather pricey, at Battlescarred already costing $1.50 for most of them. So to start off, let's look at the factory new M249. This because this will be more than likely the statistically least used gun from this collection and tier. Of course, we will look at the others for the sake of shits and giggles, but the M249 is a great place to start. Also, with all numbers I say, it might be best to include about a 10% leeway bonus to the numbers I say, mainly because my retarded ass may fuck up some of the information needed to calculate how many of these skins exist, and because this website isn't perfect. There are more than likely skins sitting in people's inventories that either abandoned it long ago, or that the website isn't currently tracking that profile, and it just has those few skins in it. By looking at the only factory new ones, there are only 129 factory new Blizzard Marbleized M249s in existence. Now why is that? Well, simply, they are the ones that people gotten a hold of in the past and have more than likely used them in Harvest to try and get an MP7. Hell, let's look at the other minimum wear M249s. After putting in the coordinates for minimal wear, there are only about 985 in existence. And while that's not as bad as the factory new variants, that is still concerning. This collection was a common drop back in the day. While I cannot find the information on when this collection did stop dropping, it does look like it was quite a while ago. Looking at the G3 SG1, we can only see 136 factory new ones in existence, and only 1,034 minimal wear ones. The Winterforce Galil? Only 133 factory new ones. Minimum wear? 1,162. This seems like a rather low amount, right? Out of the millions of people who play CSGO, that the few exist for the player base? And while, yeah, this collection was dropping back when there were a lot fewer players, that was still a lot of guns dropping. And smurfing's been around for a long ass time too, so there should be plenty of these skins still around, right? Wrong. Those trade-ups have harvested them all up, and here's the proof right here. The few numbers that are left. And they are just gone. Poof! They've been consumed by a harvest. of trade-ups, and gone forever. How about an even more desired collection, the Dust Collection? The crowning jewel of this collection is the Blazed Eagle. Everyone who uses the Desert Eagle wants it, and they want it now. So what does the grade below look like? Well, judging by the pricing of them at between $30 and $70, I could say this might even be worse than the Office Collection. Starting with the sawed-off copper, we can only see there are only 319 factory new ones left. Minimum wear is doing slightly better at 544. The AUG Copperhead cannot be factory new, and minimum wear is even rarer than field tested. However, there's actually quite a bit of them compared to the sawed-off at least, at 711. Proving my theory right that the less used guns will suffer more because people won't see them that often. The Op Snake Camo is even worse than the sawed-off, and only 217 factory new ones, and minimum wear doing retardedly good at over 2,200 before I even gave up scrolling. And of course, I cannot look past the Assault Collection. The head prize of that collection is the Fade Glock. Every CSGO scammer and trader, pretty much the same thing when you really boil the meat away, wants one. Now, the only two guns you can use to try and get that Glock Fade is either the Hot Rod AUG and the Anodized Navy Negev. Starting with the Negev, a neat bit about this gun is that the factory new variant is actually a lot more common at 574. And there are only 35 minimum wear ones left. The AUG is doing rather well though. At factory new being more common, there are 1,297 standing tall. Minimum wear, however, only has 69 left. You may think I would only cover collections that were dropping for players, but alas, collections behind cases are not immune to this as well. Operation Bravo being notorious for the Fire Serpent AK. Now, the three skins in order to try and get a Fire Serpent would be the P2000, Ocean Foam, the Op Granite, and the P90 Emerald Dragon. First, we will look at the P2000, most likely the consumed skin used in trade-ups. However, we must also factor in that this is a case, there can be stat track versions of these as well. Also, since these are from cases, the few that exists, there can technically be more of these skins birthed into existence. Starting with factory new P2000 Ocean Foams, the website froze for me after I got to 1,000, so that's a good start. For minimum wear, the rarer wear on the gun, there are only about 342 left. Much worse numbers. And for stat track equivalents, there are only about 886 factory new ones and 202 minimum wear ones. Okay, I was going to cover the other weapons I wrote about earlier in this strip, but I think there's a built-in system for float.db where if you use it too many times in a row, the website will bitch and won't let you keep using it for a while. This has happened to me earlier and before, so that's what I'm assuming happened. Hell, my dumbass didn't even screenshot the numbers, and I had to redo them a bit later. So, I will leave you with the option to see if you give a shit on looking at the other two skins. Aside from my own personal headaches from the website, I have laid out a neat concept and my findings on the subject to you. And you have seen these skins first-handed being harvested, sometimes in mass in order to try and get that super duper desired skin. So, what does that mean for the average pleb like me who just wants a decent looking Office Collection gun? Well, sadly, we are going to have to try and pay a pretty penny in order to scarf up the few that are left. If you can think of any other collections I didn't cover or you're personally interested in, by all means, use this website and see for yourself. However, don't fucking use it too much or it'll put you in the timeout corner. The honest fuck. To any of the eggheads who work at Valve who are watching this, I have a suggestion for you. We need to create sanctuaries for these poor skins. The few that are left out there in the wild have been taken in by these awful trade-up poachers, bots, or collectors. So, we must breed these skins. We need to preserve the genetic coding of these skins so future generations can enjoy them. Hell, we could even go on television and take up spots that the ASPCA or PETA uses and ask if they can donate to our cause to help end trade-up poachers. That, or we can just fucking duplicate the skins out of the ass of the yin-yang. People don't give a shit about dupe skins anyway. It's all about the knives, and even then, it's not as much as duplicated TF2 unusuals.